The final scene of The Matrix is, in my opinion, one of the most iconic content fragments of politico-psychological material in one of the most iconic films of the current era. This final scene in The Matrix is a scene of transcendence and liberation. What was once monstrous and terrifying is now a paltry triviality. Now, you are able to transcend your fear, your immobilization, your stuckness, walk into the arena, pick up your sword, put on your armor, take on the dragon and slay the dragon. So that is a psychological process that I see happening for clients of mine, for example, who are dealing with addiction. And for the first time ever, are able to make it through the soul darkness of craving and relapse. One of the most corrosive manifestations of addiction is not the pharmacological, but it's the psychological. It's the making a promise to yourself and knowing that you can't keep it. It's not so much that when you're an addict that you betray everyone that you love, because when you're a real addict, you do betray everyone you love. That's bad enough. But the worst part of addiction, the truly hellish part of addiction, is that you betray yourself every day. Every day you say, I'm never going to do this again. And your addict self says, you will betray yourself again because you've done it every day for the last X number of years. You are someone who betrays yourself every day. That, to me, is the poignant heartbreak at the core of addiction. It's the inability to write a cheque to your own soul and cash it. All your checks bounce until you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you manage to withstand a craving. You manage to white knuckle it through and get to the other side, unsullied. That's when the miracle occurs, and that's when you transcend the addiction for the first time. And that's when you have the Neo moment of the Matrix. And that's when you see the code behind the addiction. And what we do, therapists and clients, is we build on that. That's rehab. That's rehab. And it is a fucking beautiful moment. This beautiful moment where that which has you so dominated and so addicted and so caught up and so wrapped up in the spider's web of behaviour. But it's not just addiction. It might be, for example, the spouse of someone suffering with a personality disorder, a loved one of a toxic narcissist, someone being able to flee from such a figure in the form of a parent, and someone who for the first time ever is able to extract themselves from a dysfunctional, toxic relationship. One that might include physical violence or mental violence or psychological violence or gaslighting, or someone who for the first time is able to step out of those toxic, wounded relationships and say, enough. I know the game you're playing now, and that's a game that I don't play anymore. That's when that person sees the code of the Matrix and sees the way to liberation instead of the simulation, the toxic fiction that they've been caught up in their entire lives. I love to see the transcendence. I love to see them seeing their matrix, their toxic multidimensional reality, with clear eyes of truth for the first time. This excerpt from The Matrix distills the power and the energy of psychological transcendence, the exaltation of being finally free. Getting to this point in your therapeutic journey is like a superpower, and I love to see it.